Welcome into Santiago, Chile, as we get set for Group B action here in the Women's AmeriCup 2025 as Mexico takes on the hosts, Chile. It is rocking here inside the arena. Last night was a sellout for Chile's game against the United States. Tonight, a near sellout for their game against Mexico. Here's the schedule for this evening. Mexico taking on Chile. First of two Group B matchups. A little later on, we'll see Team USA, who now sit at the top of Group B, and Colombia do battle. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carl and Gay alongside Kelsey Wright Johnson. And you can see the fans here so proud of their Chilean national team hosting this AmeriCup, but also competing at a high level yesterday against one of the toughest teams in the world in Team USA. A lot of pride was shown on the floor, Kelsey, but tonight now it's all about winning a basketball.
It is. Yesterday was so fun inside this arena. Chile versus the USA, and now they get another crack at it here today against a really strong Mexico team, and it's Mexico's first go at it, their first game here at the tournament. This is their first game. These two teams have gone head-to-head just 4 times. The last one back in 2007. But Mexico's shown a lot of promise recently in the last few years. Their last tournament, the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup pre-qualifying tournament, that was last year. They finished 4th. They placed 3rd in that same year back in 2024 in the Central Basket Women's Championship. So their 12th AmeriCup here. Looking to get higher than that 4th place. That's the highest they've ever placed here at this tournament.
And it's their second straight AmeriCup, 6th appearance in the last 8 AmeriCups. They've never won a medal, to Kelsey's point. They've just been on the cusp of making a podium. They finished 4th in 99 and 03. In their last AmeriCup back in 2023, they finished 8th there. They were able to beat the Dominican Republic in their first game and then lost out, and finally were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Brazil. Brazil here in 2025 expected to be the podium toppers, as they have a pretty dominant team. We saw them yesterday. They looked great. They're on an off day today. We'll see them again tomorrow against Team Canada, probably their toughest test in Group A. But right now, Mexico being introduced to the crowd for the first time on hand. We'll get into the roster throughout the evening. And now we'll let the crowd take over as Chile will be introduced to this jam-packed arena. So Chile with a 70th world rank in FIBA's world rankings presented by Nike, 14th in the Americas. But you can wipe that away here tonight. They plan on showing out for the home crowd.
You mentioned that's their second game here tonight. The game against the USA, 108-47 just yesterday. It's their 10th appearance here at the AmeriCup, placing 8th back in 2015 was the most recent for them. Some strong performances from a couple of the Chilean players yesterday, and they're going to look to kind of bounce back from that tough USA game tonight. A little bit undersized still against this Mexico team, but they've got some feisty players, some tenacity on the defensive end, especially I'm looking forward to seeing.
It was a solid performance for about a quarter and a half against Team USA. They showed a lot of pride, and they kept competing all the way to the final whistle. And what was touching is after the game, the crowd, the sold-out crowd, stayed in the arena and were able to clap them off and show the appreciation for the effort that they showed against the world best team, the #1 ranked team in the entire planet, and Team USA. But tonight, you see smiles all around. And we'll have an opportunity to listen to the national anthems here in a moment, and that's going to be special because they go a cappella, and you get goosebumps when they start singing out loud. First, we'll hear the national anthem of Team Mexico, followed by Chile.
Porque a continuación escuchamos el himno de México. Chile.
There's nothing better than national pride, and you heard it just there, here in Santiago, Chile, as 3,000 plus belting out the national anthem a cappella. I will start singing myself, guys.
It's packed in here again, Carlin. Both games that Chile's played so far in this tournament, it has been absolutely packed in this arena. The energy and excitement in the gym really changes when the host team is here.
Great atmosphere indeed. So two teams have been introduced to you. We'll get a chance to now be introduced to the third team on the floor. Chichinato, the crew official, El Dago, and Kriprovic from Argentina, Dominican Republic, and Brazil. Starting five for Team Mexico: Ramos, Jaquez, Lara, Lagunas, and Ramirez. The starting five for Mexico making their debut here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. And there is their head coach, Abuleta, from the United States, and she's excited to get her team on the floor, Kels.
As she should be. I mean, having an off day on the first day is either good or bad, right? You get a lot of extra practice, but then you're also shaking off your dust and everyone else is kind of already in rhythm.
On the other side, the starting five for the host nation: Campos, Ojeda, Perez, Cosinho, and Sanchez. Five on the floor for head coach Christian Santander, who should be happy with the effort that his team put forth, especially early on in the game. And late in that game as well. But now we keep it rolling here for game number two, and it's thinking about a W as we're under a minute countdown to tip-off, presented by Tissot. As you see Chile a little bit more festive than they were at the end of last night's game. Smiles on their faces. A very young team here, but they know it's at stake. And what a win, what a victory it would be to defeat Mexico here at home.
I mean, there's only room for improvement from yesterday. You go in knowing that USA is one of the strongest teams coming into this tournament, and it's time to bounce back now. Use that as a stepping stone, as a learning or a lesson learned. You take what you learn from it, you see what works, what doesn't, and you move on. And you go up against a team that on paper is a lot more winnable. And so this is a game that you kind of have circled and they've already kind of got their chemistry going from yesterday, so this will be a good game.
Off and running here from the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. Mexico taking on Chile. First game for Mexico here in Group E action, the second for Chile. Arlen Gay alongside Kelsey Wright-Johnson. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Jaquez penetrating. This is Ramos, her first touch of the rock. And a midi that's off the mark. Jaquez with another offensive rebound for Mexico. Ramos to the corner. It's Jaquez for free. Touched every part of the rim, but couldn't drop, and Campos will push the other way. Perez near side, skips it. Cousinho for free. Crowd would have exploded had that fall.
Mexico's kind of shown their dominance already so far in that height disparity. They've gotten 3 offensive rebounds for a lot of extra opportunities there on the offensive end, and then a one and done on the other end.
Ojeda with the opportunity to tip that out of bounds. We'll stay here with Mexico, 13 on the shot clock for the Mexicans to play with here. Ramirez will trigger this inbound. It's Jaquez who stepped out of bounds.
Again, you can kind of chalk that up to your first time playing in this arena. You're still getting to know the lines, the spacing, all of that. So those are just little mental errors that I don't think Mexico makes moving forward in this game.
Great atmosphere in this arena as Campos crosses the timeline. You hear some spattering of defense chant, as there are some Mexican supporters who also made the trip. Sanchez with the jab. Kicks it out, Cousinho with 5 to shoot. Inside, Perez gonna have to put it up. And gets the first bucket of the night.
That's a clutch gene right there from Perez from Chile. Everyone is even more electric now. They needed that one basket to really get going.
She played well in the 2024 South American Championship, averaging 8.5 points per game, pulling down 4 rebounds in that tournament. Able to scratch first for Chile in this one. That jump shot short by Laura. Got her own. Jaquez inside all alone. Gabrielle Jaquez with her first bucket.
I'm really excited to watch her play. She's got basketball in her blood for sure. Brother playing in the NBA for the Miami Heat, and he's one of my favorite players. So, you know, if they're anything like each other, I'm excited to see the way she plays.
Brother, of course, Jaime Jaquez of the Heat, as Kelsey mentioned. Steal there in the backcourt. Here's Gabriela. Gonzalez finds Jaquez, who drives down the lane and finds a layup.
There we go.
Back-to-back buckets for Jaquez.
That's playing one-on-one with your older brother growing up. That was a tough finish.
Something you know a little bit about.
I just got my butt kicked by my brother.
Campos. Miscommunication with her and Perez, now in the coffin corner, kept her dribble alive. After it got slapped out of her hands. Cousinho tees up a deep 3.
Cousinho is so good. She's so good. Has experience playing college basketball in Florida and in Utah, and that experience really comes to light here.
She struggled from the field yesterday against Team USA. You saw her point to the crowd, or point to the heavens after that 3 dropped in. Shot just 25% from 3-point range in the loss against Team USA. Campos for 3. It was in and out. Ramos hands to Gabriela Jaquez at the foul line. Ramirez uses a Laura screen. Draws 2 and then tees up a long 2. Can't get it to go. A one-handed rebound plucked out of the sky by Ojeda. And she'll lead the offense. Sanchez left alone. They're daring her to shoot it, so she does. Knew she missed it, so she fouled her own. Almost got her own rebound. Mexico will push back the other way. It's Ramos. Laura wants it at the nail. Wasn't much space there for her to operate. So kick it back out. 4 minutes into this game, it's a 5-4 lead for Chile. Gabriela Jaquez odds all points for Mexico, off the mark on that 3. Ojeda will push the other way. Cousinho attacking the rim. Tried to shovel pass to Ojeda, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Yeah, you mentioned her shooting struggles yesterday in the game, only 6 points, 2 assists. She's going to look to get her teammates more involved in this one, especially because you're going up against players who don't have size over you in every single position, kind of like the USA did.
Jeffries into the game for Mexico, as is Martinez. Oh. Good Euro step there by Campos as she navigates through traffic, got hacked, and she'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
I learned something fun about Campos earlier today.
Enlighten us.
Not only does she play for Chile's national team, which is incredible. She's played one event there with their senior team just last year. She's in orthodontist school.
Wow.
Yeah. She's playing pro basketball, taking school. I like it. I like her.
Maybe we can get her teeth cleaned while we're here.
Yeah, I don't like the orthodontist, but I like her.
Campos misses the first. Played Obras last season. Played in the Argentinian Women's League. She will turn 23 on July 5th, so we'll celebrate her birthday while we're here in Chile. Hopefully we get an invite to the party wherever it is.
Or at least a piece of cake.
Something. I take the cake for sure. Jeffries to the rim, got rejected by Sanchez. Cousinho pushed the other way. Now you got me hungry over here thinking about cake. It's Perez on the dribble. Ojeda. Cousinho turns the other way. Ojeda will roll to the basket. Poked out of her hands. Mexico with numbers. Jaquez spins, hacked. And then the foul comes. It's a late whistle, but the correct one.
I really like Jaquez, and I know we're only halfway through the first quarter, but she plays with a lot of physicality. Every time she's driven, she's the one initiating contact. When she's setting screens for her teammates, she's really making contact with the defender. I would have loved if she kind of went into her defender there to go up and strong, but she got fouled early on, so she knew what she was doing.
So Gabriela Jaquez, young star, making her national team debut at the World Cup qualifying tournament last season. And guess what? 21.8 points per game. Just under 8 rebounds. It wasn't like she was just there participating. She was showing out.
Yeah, I mean, almost 22 points a game for your debut is a pretty nice debut. She has a lot of experience because she's still a college player. She's still in college, still got those reps fresh.
Had a good season at UCLA last year. Just under 10 points per contest. And a very talented UCLA team that was ranked #1 in the nation for all parts of last season. Now trying to lead her national team. Here's Jeffries, bulldozing her way to the rim. Got her own miss. Fresh 14 here for Mexico. Ramirez back to Jeffries. Jeffries is in go mode. Missed the layup. And Cousinho finally puts a fork in. Perez running the floor. Tracks 2 defenders. Here's Sanchez. Good footwork by Sanchez. Can't complete the layup. Jaquez with a rebound. Jaquez will tee up a 3. Indeed. Gabriela Jaquez, straight on 3, dead eye.
Hand down, man down. And that's how she averaged almost 22 points a game in her senior team debut.
All 8 points right now in the game for Mexico. It's Jaquez 8, Chile 6. Here's Ojeda. Campos with 5 to shoot. Turns on the checks. Campos just had 2 points yesterday against Team USA, and you're seeing her already more aggressive in this contest. 3 points. Salas' 3 not there. Jaquez flying in for an offensive rebound, but tapped it out of bounds. Will go the other way.
I know Jaquez, you see her here pull up for that 3. She's the only player you mentioned who has scored for Mexico so far, but her Mexican teammates are getting a lot of open looks. They're running the sets nicely, and they're getting the looks that they want. They just haven't been able to fall.
See Jeffries subbing out of this game. We saw right before her checking out. Gabriela Jaquez encouraging her. A reminder, Gabriela is only just 21 years old, and she is the vet on this roster. Campos using the Sanchez screen. Campos to the rim again.
She does such a good job of protecting the ball when she's driving through the key. It's so easy for little players to get the ball wiped from them or blocked. She does such a good job using her body and protecting herself from the defenders.
Marquez, top of the key, shows it and goes. Euro step to the bucket. Can't get it to fall. Ball up for grabs. And Campos clears. Senior inside Ojeda. Sanchez at the nail. Draws two. Ojeda will tee up a three. Indeed. Valenzuela on the other end, getting a quick basket there for Mexico. And the crowd now starting to get into it for Chile.
The crowd is the sixth man for this Chilean team. They're going to be able to have the crowd will them to a few extra buckets here.
It's always good when you play at home. That crowd, that energy gives you, it feels like an extra breath in your lungs, especially when you're tired.
It's given me an extra breath in my lungs. The crowd comes in for these home teams, and it's fun. You can feel it in here.
Subs being made on both sides. Gabriela Jaquez will trot out of the game for the first time. So with a minute 58, Kels, got to wonder where the offense will come from Mexico, as Jaquez has 8 of the 10 points so far. Campos will inbound this. Lucinio rises up and gets it to fall. You see her fired up, the captain of this Chilean squad, seeing the ball go through the hoop a couple of times tonight. Up to 5 points and counting. Good seal there by Valenzuela, and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, Valenzuela here, she has FIBA AmeriCup experience, so you want to be able to rely on her. What you were saying, when Jaquez goes to the bench for a little bit, she had 4.5 points, 2.5 rebounds in her last AmeriCup. So also, I was just talking about having some NCAA experience. Seton Hall for her this upcoming season, 25-26. So another player that you really want to rely on offensively and defensively with her size.
Yeah, she transferred to Seton Hall in the transfer portal. The 3 seasons at Florida State. Right now, trying to get her national team across the line in their first game of the tournament. Mexico on the run. It'll be Martinez for 3. Follows her own. A battle, a tie-up. Possession arrow in favor of Chile.
Mexico plays really unselfish basketball. The ball is swinging and moving. There hasn't been a lot of players, other than Jaquez, really, who's taken more than 2-3 shots, because they are really allowing the defense to dictate what their offense is going to do. And I mean that in a complimentary way. Like, they're looking for great shots, not just kind of taking the good ones.
Yeah, the ball movement has been spectacular so far for Mexico. Hasn't really been stagnant. Fluid offense on both sides, really. As Campos waits for a screen. Good hesitation, dribble by Campos on the way to the rim. Blows the layup. Gallegos going back the other way. Here's Heel. Valenzuela. Valenzuela was ripped by Lubicic. Caught herself in a bad area with 2 white jerseys in front of her and gave it away.
Just kind of nothing she could do in that situation. You got to throw it out of bounds for a stop play or put it up against the rim.
Over and back there as Ramos threw the bounce pass and hit in the backcourt after she crossed the timeline. Here it is. There she's across the timeline, and there's the ball bouncing in the backcourt. Good call by the officials. Jaquez back on the floor for Mexico. The last 25 seconds of this first period. They'll get one look here if they're able to secure the rebound. Lubicic, that's not going to count, as there's an offensive foul called on the moving screen. Ramirez picks it up.
Yeah, and that was Gil who was able to kind of force her into the foul. She really drew that one up. And again, that just comes from experience. She's got a lot of international experience with this Mexico team.
Ramirez and Campos getting tied up there. The foul's going to be called on Campos. It's a 14th foul here for Chile. They did have the one to give now. Next one will put them in the penalty. Shot clock is unplugged here as Jaquez will inbound.
I thought she was faking you out.
She heard me, so she's going to stay. Valenzuela puts it on the deck. Navigating to the rim, and it's an offensive foul. She used the off arm to hook.
Earlier I said that I like the way that she plays with her body, uses her body physically, but it's that arm that extends over her defender's back. That's the illegal play, and the defense was in the perfect position for that. Now they've got almost 6 seconds to get something done here.
Ganeo into the game for the first time. Forward red. Here she is on the rock. Speedy player. She's going to have to take the look. And ran out of time. That's not going to count. As the crowd erupts seeing it go through, but Ganeo didn't get it off in time. And that's how we'll end the first quarter. A 3-point lead for Chile after one over Mexico. A look at the first quarter stats, excuse me. And both teams trying to figure it out offensively. We've seen this from every team that's played so far. Mexico being the last one to play here at the AmeriCup. Slow to start offensively in terms of getting shots to fall through the hoop.
What I see when we're looking at this timeout, what we're just seeing, we're in the Mexican timeout, was before Coach got over there, it was Jaquez who was over there telling her team, I mean, she was pointing to something, I don't know what she was doing in there, but you could tell that everyone was looking at her for her leadership. You mentioned such a young player, still in college, but I think really one of the leaders on this team.
And a lot of the highlights from the first half will be around Gabriela Jaquez. Here she is, as she scored the first 8 points for Mexico to open up the offense for them.
And what's impressive is how she's able to get it done. We saw 2 layups there. She pulled up for the deep 3 here. And it was an early shot. It was an early shot in the shot clock, so you knew she had so much confidence going to it. And then some of her other teammates started to get a little more open just because of how much the defense rotates towards her because of that straight 8 points for her. Chile, some really good points here. A little more evenly scored for their team, kind of getting everybody involved. And Jaquez is just unstoppable so far in this quarter.
There's Cosino, who drilled that 3. She has 5 points and counting, had 6 points just yesterday against the United States. You see the basketball go through the hoop. Must be a relief for her. And here it is at the end of the quarter. You could see clearly getting it off after the double zeros on the clock, so that doesn't count.
It was a nice take, though. She went coast to coast, and this is a player who, you know, had more assists than points yesterday. So it's nice to see her getting going on the scoreboard now.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the app. Courtside 1891. Streams, schedules, scores, and so much more. Eurobasket just coming to a conclusion. You can go back and relive some of that if you've missed it. Or you can stay with us live here. It's your companion app for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup, also known as Kelsey's favorite app. Valenzuela will take the 3. Mine too, by the way.
I have it on 2 phones, you have it on 1, so who likes it more?
3 downloads between us. FIBA must be happy about that. It's a 3-point lead for Chile as we start the second quarter. The Sanchez in the lane, falling away, can't get it to go. Valenzuela vacuums in the rebound. Gayella kicks to the corner. Valenzuela down low, uses the shoulder to create some space and puts it in.
Like I said, I love the way she plays. She uses her body and her strength, her physicality to her advantage. It's just that one arm that got her, but other than that, she's been great. The defensive rebound on this end over and used her body the exact same way on the offensive end to get the 2 points.
Ojeda with 6 to shoot. Lubicic using the screen. She'll tee up a 3. Too strong. Campos at that pinball to her. Fresh 14 now for Chile. Lubicic attacking the rim.
What a take. It was one red jersey against 4 white jerseys, still able to get it done and kind of making it look easy. Nobody stepped up to stop her from getting to the hoop.
Ramos to Jaquez. Good entry pass to Valenzuela, and she finishes beautifully off the window.
Yeah, that's a perfect finish as well. She kept the defender on her back the entire time. It would be easy to want to turn your shoulders back in and do a regular kind of facing the basket layup. A perfect finish.
Campos picking the dribble up in a weird area. It did get tipped, so they're allowed to go in the backcourt, but the shot clock is winding down. Gaello pestering Campos. Campos rejected by Valenzuela, and they're going to call a travel on the extra step by Campos.
Yeah, she took an extra step there, kind of dragged that bottom or that back leg as she tried to get past the big defender in Venezuela, but she's going to take a quick seat, get a very quick breather. I'm sure we're going to see her very soon. She's a really fun player for this Team Chile.
Valenzuela might have left a handprint on that ball after the rejection there. Got all of it. Jaquez shows the up fake. Step back this time.
Like I said, it's been fun to see her even in this first half because we've seen her at the rim, we've seen her putbacks, we've seen a three, and now we've seen a pull-up jumper. This girl can do it in all 3 areas of the court. This is going to be really fun. It's going to be a fun tournament to see her, and I mean, just her future with Mexico.
Question about it. That bucket leads to a timeout. 7:46 remaining in the second quarter. Mexico up 1.
Lo que tenemos que mejorar, hoy hablábamos de nuestro spacing, que era acá, y ahora nuestro spacing está jugándose acá. Estamos acá porque no profundizamos entrar y salir para recibir. Entrar y salir para dar vuelta al balón. Entonces nos obligan a jugar cada vez más lejos. Desmarcarse, entrar y salir para poder empezar a jugar. Vamos con básico, recordemos que tenemos que tener una buena selección de tiro y vamos a poner agresivo allá. Vos estás con Jaquez, pasá por arriba, que es la que cuando se le puso fea al principio tomó la decisión, así que vamos a pasar por arriba.
Gabriela Jaquez is putting on a show. It's been her world. We're just living in it, getting it from every level on the floor, inside, mid-range, and outside.
Yeah, Chile has got to hone in on, I mean, one player right now, it won't be that way for the entire game, but 10 points of the team's 18 points. They got to do something, get bumper, get physical. It's hard to be able to take something away because we've seen where she can score from. She scores from everywhere, so you take one away, she's going to score from somewhere else, but they got to start getting 2 hands in her face at all times.
Ojeda driving down the lane. Venezuela waiting right there for her and swallowed the basketball. Ramos. Gaello inside. Venezuela, a great catch, and she got fouled to go to the line for 2. Boy, Venezuela doing a good job of using her body to just create passing angles for her guards.
Yeah, she does a really good job at positioning. She has great footwork. You see here, keeps the defender on her back. A quick dribble there, and on her way back up is when she got the foul. You don't see her put it on the ball or on the floor a lot. She does a really good job at catching it high and keeping it high. This one works out in her favor. She's at the charity stripe.
She had to redshirt her season in 2023-24 due to a knee injury. As a sophomore, came off the bench for the Florida State Seminoles, averaging just under 6 points per contest. And at the Central Basket U17, a double-double for her in 2019, 14 points, 11 rebounds. And you're seeing why here tonight.
She had a kind of a funny Instagram post for her it was her 3rd year, technically her 4th because of that red shirt, and it was 3rd year, kind of, with a little shruggy emoji.
She's shrugging anything but shrugging emoji here tonight. She's dominant. Coming up with a help side steal that time, and he'll push it and give it away. Lubicic.
Great read there by Lubicic, right in the passing lane. She saw one player ahead, and she made the executive decision to go right at her instead of passing it off. She got the foul, drew the foul. Look at this. She sees the defender there. She sees the Chilean player with her. She decides to, it's all me, and she goes right up.
They don't allow Ramos that time to get position, and Lubicic will toe the line here for the first time tonight. You see Ojeda exiting the game. Lubicic played in the 2024 South American Championship. That was her first senior national team event, this being her second. And last season playing pro in Chile, averaging just under 10 points per contest and 3.8 boards. Coming off the bench for the Chilean national team, providing some shooting, but also some energy defensively.
Yeah, I mean, she's been representing Chile since she was 16 years old, playing in U17 events with the youth team. So maybe not a vet very much so in the senior sense, but she's been playing basketball for this country for a very long time.
Sanchez came up the block. Here's Lubicic showing the range.
The crowd goes crazy.
After every three-pointer, Heal attacking the rim, got fouled, a late whistle, but she'll go to the line for two. It's going to be the second team get foul here for Chile. And I love when, as a broadcaster, you say she shows the range, and she actually shows the range.
I keep saying they're listening. They got earpieces in there.
Maybe that's another courtside 1891 download. I'm not sure if they could get the QR code while they're playing, but we'll figure it out. See the free throw line. Has been kind to Chile, unkind to Mexico as they miss another one from the foul line. It's Heal who toes the line for the first time tonight. And Heal, one of the youngest players on the team. She started with the senior national team last year at the Central Basket and averaged just under 10 points per game. She was also at the World Cup pre-qualifier and just under 7 points per game there. Two-point lead for Chile as they inbound. First time tonight we see Alarcon, number 1 in red, come off the bench for Chile. Sanchez top of the key. Alarcon comes off the curl. Lubicic shows and steps back, takes a three, can't hit. And Jaquez with the rebound. Ramirez on the push. Valenzuela, good ball movement here from Mexico. All alone is Ramirez. Passes up on the three, gives it to Valenzuela, who drills it. Well, you saw her pass up on the wide open look and thought to yourself, maybe you should have shot it. She said, don't worry about it, I got this.
And we've complimented Jaquez so much on her ability to go inside to outside, but we forgot to talk about the center of this Mexico team, and look at her showing us that she can do it from the outside too.
Great touch on that last three-point attempt. Here it is.
You can see her yelling in the corner. She knows that the defense is going to collapse when their point guard gets downhill, and she was wide open for that in the corner.
Gave Mexico a 1 point advantage. What's been a tight game, back and forth. Glad you're enjoying it wherever you are, however you're doing so. There's Ramos, Valenzuela at the nail. Faked the pass to Jaquez and took it herself.
Yeah, you would look at that offense and say that it felt a little stagnant, but what I think they were doing was really spacing out, because Valenzuela is playing so well right now. She has a little bit of a mismatch with Sanchez guarding her, so she was able to have all her teammates space out and then have a wide open key for her to do whatever she needs to do and go to work.
Ramos and Sanchez there underneath Mexico goal, tying up. Possession now in favor of Chile. You see it there on your screen, so we'll stay here. Alarcon back onto the bench. And that will allow Campos, number 2 in red, to check back in. Ramos leaves the game, as does Valenzuela, who had a great shift and a well-deserved break.
Yeah, 24 points between Valenzuela and Jaquez, so a really lethal duo there. One of them still on the court right now, so look for her to take a lot of these shots coming up for Mexico.
She just grabbed that rebound, did Gabriela Jaquez. Gonzalez in the front court. Martinez, awkward shot, couldn't get it to fall. Rocinio will push the other way. Has Campos in front of her. Good defense, tracking back by that time by Gonzalez. Rocinio shows the ball, attacking the rim.
You know, that whole sequence started with Campos, and she almost looks for her teammates a little bit too much, which is a good thing, but she almost had the layup there on the left-hand side, had 4 assists in that last game. It ended up good because that scramble situation came out with a big shot, but I want to see her look for herself at the bucket, too.
Jaquez, step back 3 on the way. Too strong. The block out there by Cousinho. Ball up for grabs. Rugby scrum. It's going to be a tie-up, and that's going to be Mexico basketball. Exactly 4 minutes remaining here in this second period. And it's been a great game. Abujeres comes into the game 25 in red. You hear the applause that she got as she trotted onto the floor. Gabriela Jaquez will leave. And Martinez checks in for her. So now Jaquez on the bench, as is Valenzuela. Bookmark this moment, folks. This could be a turning point in this basketball game if Mexico cannot get any offense. Jeffries plowing her way through the lane.
What a finish there. The words were just about to come out of my mouth. If Chile wants to go on a run, now's the time to go on the run without those 2 stars for Mexico on. But then we have someone else step up and make a really tough bucket. Mexico is a very, very deep team.
Speaking of deep, it's Perez who drills the 3. Gonzalez quickly back the other way. She's hammered and she'll go to the line.
She thought that was pretty good defense for Chile there. She was backing up when the defender was approaching her. So I want to take a look at her hands. I didn't get to see that in real time. Yeah, she dropped her left arm a little bit there. From our angle, she looked really good. And I mean, this is going to look good from any angle. That was a nice read. Got the defender hand down, kind of moving in the opposite direction, stepped over, and that 3 was beautiful.
Anytime you could leave your wrist up in the air, you know what time it is. Cash money. So Gonzalez at the line. You're hearing it from the crowd. She silences them momentarily, knocking down the first free throw.
What I like to see as Mexico setting up their free throws is you see each one of them making contact with each other and showing who they have on defense. So they're already thinking one step ahead, and their communication is really, really good, especially for the first game kind of out of the gate for this team.
2-point lead for Mexico in this one. Lubicic using the screen, pulls from 2. It's good defense there by Valenzuela, who came out to contest. It's going to be Mexico basketball as that ricocheted out of bounds. Jeffries crossing over. How about Jeffries getting to the basket? Got hit, and she'll go to the line.
That was a really nice take. That first defender stepped up. She just stepped right around her and put it up before that second defender was even able to get in front of the basket. Really, really good take. I hope she rewards herself here at the line.
Nisa Jeffries, an up-and-comer who got her senior national team debut at the 2024 FIBA Centro basket, averaging 10.5 points per game and a team-high 9 rebounds per contest.
And you know, we were talking earlier about Hawkeyes having some basketball in her blood, but Jeffries does as well. Her mom was a pro basketball player, so I'm sure she got a little bump growing up one-on-one with mom in the driveway.
By the way, Jeffries, we want to talk about school and what she's studying.
Tell me.
Industrial engineering.
Oh, so she's smart too.
Yeah.
Really good at basketball and smart. Great.
Got it all. She won the genetic lottery, apparently. Here's Perez. Turning the corner. Lubicic sweeping through on Gonzalez. Lubicic rejected by Valenzuela.
Wow.
Quickly the other way is Mexico. And a good scoop, but no finish. Jeffries battling between 4 red jerseys and earns a tie-up. It's going to be Chile basketball, however.
You can see exactly how she averaged almost 10 rebounds. That was a play right there that kind of put her athletic prowess on display. Almost had that rebound over 4 of the opposition's players. Really incredible athleticism from her and really smart positioning to try and get that rebound.
2:32 remaining in the first half. Chile will call for time. Mexico up by 4. Let's listen in to the Chilean huddle.
para que Javiera juegue el zipper y venga a jugar el pick and roll. Mirá. Vale, si está defendida por la más grande, vas a jugar vos el pick and roll. Y vos, Bárbara, te vas a ir. Porque Vale, cuando llegás acá, hace el flip. Así que Jovi, si llegaste acá y le pasaste a Javiera, andate. Para que el flip tenga espacio. ¿Está bien? A ver si la movemos a Valenzuela, ¿no? Y la atacamos. Las 5 al rebote, las 5 al rebote.
Well, it's been a physical basketball game. Some of these pictures will tell you that. In fact, Kelsey and I might need a nice bath just calling this game how physical it's been. But Lubicic inside being rejected that time by Valenzuela. And you see the battle for the basketball, the emotion, the passion. That's what comes with playing for the national team. And right now, Mexico in their first game here in the AmeriCup, up 4 on Chile, the hosts. Campos using the Ojeda screen. Waits for Ojeda to roll. Ojeda left the air and then threw it back out to Campos. Still time on the shot clock for Chile to work with. That time is now slowly running out. Campos with the floater.
She knew she was going up against a defender that was much bigger than her. Valenzuela had her hands right up. A really smart basketball IQ move by number 2 in Campos. I said I wanted to see her go to the bucket and not look for her teammates so much, and that's exactly what she did.
What a move by Anissa Jeffrey. She said, Kelsey, you're talking about the other team's number 2. How about this number 2?
She's number 2 to no one.
Back to a 4-point advantage for Mexico. Ojeda will screen again for Campos. Senio, that ball was kicked. Jeffries has it. Ahead to Martinez. She tried to quick touch pass it. Kept in Mexican possession. They need to slow it down with 14 on the shot clock, and they do. Gallardo inside. Big time mismatch that Valenzuela takes advantage of.
We said it just like that. Valenzuela has such good footwork. She does such a good job at keeping the defender on her back.
Gallardo's knocked down Campos and then standing over top of her as if to say you flopped. She argues the call right now with the official. And the crowd letting her hear it. Gabriela Jaquez back into the game, replacing Martinez. Here it is.
I mean, there's not much to argue there. She clocked her.
She did hit her.
Not on purpose, but you got her.
And they're still physical as Gallardo and Campos going back and forth. And there's another foul on Gallardos, and the crowd getting into it.
That's a frustration foul right there, Carlin. She got that foul. She wasn't happy with it. So she's being a little extra aggressive here, and I think moving forward she's going to regret that one if it comes down to foul trouble later on, because that wasn't a foul that stops a basket. It wasn't a foul that stops a play that needed to be stopped. I think she was just frustrated with the previous call.
2 quick fouls, and now she sees herself on the bench. It's a 13th foul here for Mexico, under a minute to play in the 3rd. They have a foul to give. High-low pass, Ojeda inside, can't get it to fall. Gonzalez with the rebound. Jaquez running the floor. A beautiful shimmy shake, fall away, can't get it to fall. Perez now with numbers. Perez wants it back. Lubicic says, no problem, I'll take the 3 instead.
It was a 3-on-2. They had numbers at the rim, but when your hand is hot and you feel that confidence, especially right in front of your bench, you got to take it. And look, the crowd went absolutely nuts again.
A bad foul there by Campos as she takes one on Ramirez. That will put Ramirez at the line. Here it is, Kels.
Look at this. She took a look. She saw the numbers, but she didn't see anyone in front of her, so she let that one fly. This is going to be the angle I want to see, because I want to see the bench behind her. Or the crowd, even better.
Timeout on the floor. 20.4 seconds remain here in the half. Let's listen in to Team Mexico's huddle. fly on the wall of some of those huddles. Such great access that we get here at the international game with FIBA Media. We saw Coach Des Guetta was an assistant coach with the national team before moving into the top spot when Lindsey Harding took the job with the LA Lakers. And now this is her show to run. And has to be impressed so far, almost a half through their first game here at the AmeriCup with the way they perform.
What I liked was what she said at the end. There's only 20 seconds left in the first half. All she said to end that timeout was stay aggressive. And that Mexico's aggressiveness has been what's gotten them this lead so far. On the offensive end, they're so aggressive, getting to the key, driving, slashing. On the defensive end, you can see almost 3 or 4 players crash the board each and every time. They're getting up in the grill of Chile's offensive players. Stay aggressive is the best advice I think Coach could have given them there.
Question. Unless there's a disaster here in the last 20 seconds, they're going to go into the locker room with at least the lead of this basketball game. Perez crossing the timeline. The shot clock is unplugged. Campos battling, and that's an offensive foul. So 2 poor fouls there by Campos to close it. The last 2 possessions on the previous play with the opportunity to try for a strip.
The thing with fouls like that, she was asking her coach if they could get a review, and I don't think you do that, but what the ref doesn't see first, the ref definitely sees second. So a retaliation foul like that, when she kind of just pushes off the defender, the ref's going to see that every time.
Valenzuela for 3. Jeffries flying in to put it home, and that's how we'll end the first half. Anissa Jeffries able to beat the buzzer on the putback.
What incredible positioning for her to not only grab that rebound and the whereabouts to know how much time is on the clock, to know she can't come down with it. She's such a great addition to this Mexico team. We were talking a lot about those 2 women who started off really hot on the offensive end, but Anissa Jeffries is right up there for a trio.
Her basket gives Mexico a 7-point lead as we head to the half. Here are the first half stats. And Chile doing a much better job of shooting the ball well from the field as opposed to their first game against Team USA, but the turnovers have really been a problem for them.
They have. I look at this and I look at rebounding numbers because I'm saying that Mexico has more field goals. They have a higher percentage in those field goals, and they have more rebounds. So Chile really going to have to take this timeout or take this halftime break and figure out how they're going to match the aggressiveness of Mexico, or even they might have to be overly aggressive, not fouling, but overly aggressive to kind of make up for the size advantage that Mexico has.
The size advantage comes in the form of Valenzuela. She's been able to dominate the paint on the offensive end and protect the goal on the defensive end. Lubicic has had some buckets from the outside and the inside for Chile. And when you look at Chile specifically, they were able to compete heavily against Team USA for about a quarter, and then it fell apart. It was kind of the same game to start this one, but they've kept it alive, and they're only down 7 going into the break.
That's what I mean, only up from that first game. They've learned something about themselves yesterday. They watched that game back, they saw the highlights, and they learned who they are, and they've been able to really, really play a solid first half, only down by 7 to Mexico. There's so much time left.
Anissa Jeffries has done a great job of finding her way to the goal.
She makes really tough baskets. She doesn't have a lot of open looks.
She makes them look easy as well. Well, here's that Lubicic 3 that she took in transition. Jeffries with that footwork, able to splash one home. And then once again, Lubicic attacking the goal and finding 2 here on the blow-by. So a 7-point basketball game here at the half. Mexico leading on Chile in their first game here at the Women's AmeriCup in Santiago, Chile. We'll take a quick break and be back with more here at the AmeriCup.
This isn't a moment. It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday.
This is now. Feel our presence, built on strength
and drive. not rising. We are arriving. Not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot.
Earned.
Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat, ruled by queens. When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
She's been representing Canada for a little over a decade now. This is her fourth AmeriCup. She started back in 2015 at the university. Yeah, this is her 111th game with Team Canada.
Three's a bit like layups for them so far in this game. Villalobos, tough move, Canada, and the foul.
Dantes puts it up. She's going to be one of the premier players in this tournament, and just like that, she shows us why.
Watched by Martinez. Dantes spinning, popping, and dropping. Great step back, and she drills it.
You're right, Argentina is getting the shots that they want. It's just not falling for them. Dantes down low. There's an and one.
Guess who else is getting the shots they want?
Colombia starting to turn up the pressure defensively. Inside, gorgeous pass. What a block! Gonzalez says no. Nice no-look pass inside by Tevez.
I like the patience I saw from this El Salvador team. What a wonderful pass inside. And then you got to get back on defense on the other end. Gretter taking on Cordoso. This is the matchup I want to see. Gretter puts it up. That one's good, and the crowd, that's the loudest they've been in a while.
Crafty is Rios, knocking it off the back of a defender and putting it in.
Manuela Rios, she has been such a star in this first half for Colombia.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own countries, but also in the international basketball world.
At the half, Mexico up 39-32 over Chile. We'll get an opportunity to look at some of the top scorers from the first half. And Lubicic has led the way for Chile. She's powering the offense for 10 points and counting.
Yeah, she kind of has a head of steam when she gets the ball and she's going downhill. She makes the right decision. She'll pass it off, and of course we've seen her pull up from all around the three-point line, but when she gets going downhill, she can get to the basket, and she does it with strength, and she's so direct with how she gets there. You don't want to be a defender in her way when she's getting to the hoop. And again, if you back off too much, she's going to hit that 3 in your face, as she's shown here. She's 50% from that 3-point line. This is my favorite one here in transition. Pulls it back right in front of her bench. And her team had the numbers, but she said, look, I've got the number 2, and the number is 3. What a shot. And the timing of that couldn't be better either. Really strong play so far in this first half.
As we mentioned, 10 points and counting for Lubicic, powering the offense for Chile, down 7 at the half. On the flip side, Mexico's top scorer, it's all about Valenzuela. 16 big points, most of them coming in the paint, but she has been dominant on both ends of the floor, Kelsey.
Yeah, what impresses me most about her is not only the 16 points and not the 100% from the field, but again, she's getting her teammates involved, and she does it from everywhere. I mean, you expect guards to be able to drive and shoot from the outside, but as a center, the way that she's able to, one, keep defenders on her back. Her footwork is so impressive. She makes it easy for the guards to get her the ball underneath, but she uses her body and her physicality on the offensive and defensive end here. You see her doesn't lower her shoulder, just goes straight up and down, but doesn't allow her defender to move her out of her spot, and she's so good at that.
Marina Valenzuela powering Mexico's offense right now with 16 big points after the first 20 minutes of play. And we're showing a lot of her offensive highlights, but by the way, a couple of key blocks on the defensive end as well. So at the half here, 39-32, Mexico in front. It's Mexico's first game here in Chile at the Women's AmeriCup in 2025, and they look like they came in without much rust.
Yeah, and we've seen that with a couple teams on the first day and earlier today as well, for teams that had their, or Dominican Republic who had their the first day off. But that first quarter, you kind of, not in a bad way, it's natural. Either like the lights are bright here, it's a big international stage, or you are shaking off a little bit of rust or learning about your teammates, learning that chemistry. Mexico hasn't seemed to have that obstacle in their way today. They started off right off the bat. I mean, 8 points straight away for one of the youngest players on Mexico in Jaquez, and then everyone else just caught up with her, and this team has been rolling.
Those were 8 important points as well, Kels. The offense wasn't really rolling until she started pouring it in, and at some point it was 8-6 for Jaquez in this basketball game, and I felt like that settled the offense for Mexico. Once they started seeing her compete at a high level and get to wherever she wanted to be, it just opened things up for the rest of the team.
And look, Chile, they could have had their game yesterday where they lost. I mean, they lost by a lot, a very big amount against a really strong USA team, and they could have kind of had their heads low today coming into this one, but absolutely not. I think that fueled them to come back into this one, because they've had a complete first half, and they've looked like a different team. And of course, you're going up against a team where, like I said, on paper, it is a much more winnable game, but they don't look scared of anything. Size, physicality, anything, they're down for it. And I really like them under the leadership of Campos. She's a great point guard for this team and a really big leader on the court. She really is, like you said, an extension of that head coach. And I'm excited to see, not much, she's a scorer, but she had a lot more assists yesterday. She's looking a little bit more for herself today. And I like the way that she calms this team down, and I'm excited to see what she does in the second half.
She got in a little bit of chippiness towards the end of that first half, did Campos, picking up 2 silly fouls. We'll see if she was able to regain her composure heading into the locker room and come back out to lead her team. We're moments away from the start of the second half. A reminder, our next game in Group B, it'll be Team USA taking on Colombia, one that we're surely excited about. For Colombia, it's an opportunity for a massive upset. For Team USA, it's an opportunity for them to continue to do what they do.
Everybody loves a Cinderella story.
No question.
Nothing's impossible.
No question. They'll be excited to see that one. You and Amy Audibert will have that call. Well, Group A has already wrapped up match day 2 for them, and we saw Canada defeating Argentina, as well as the Dominican Republic squeezing by El Salvador by a couple of points, a game you called, and I'm sure that stood out to you. Dominican Republic getting their first win, and now they're in the mix with Canada and Brazil in Group A.
Yeah, and I mean, that one came down to foul shots, really. Not foul shots in terms of both teams fouling, but Ramirez missed that one foul shot, would have tied it up, and then from there it was a turnover, and that was a really, really fun game. And you can kind of see just both nations and how both of the smaller countries are coming up and they're competing with each other, and it was really, really good. A lot like today's game. They've kept it close for this entire half, so you really never know. I know there's, of course, favorites coming into this one. You have your reigning champs, you have your bigger countries like the USA and Canada, but it's really anyone's game once you come here because you never know who's going to step up.
Reigning champs is Brazil. Power ranking presented by FIBA at the beginning of this tournament. The FIBA staff picking Brazil as the #1 ranked team coming into this event. And with their talent, Dominguez Dantas and Camila Cardoso coming over from the WNBA mid-season to compete for Pokey Chapman and her squad, says a lot about what that program means to them and what they're hoping happens here at the AmeriCup. Inside of a minute, before we start the second half, we've had 7 lead changes in this one. You mentioned it's been a close game. And both teams sharing time, leading. 7 minutes for Mexico, or rather 7 minutes for Chile. 9 minutes so far for Mexico in the lead.
Something that sticks out for me from Mexico is 15 points off the bench, which is a really big number considering they only have 39 points in the half. So when we talk about depth in this international stage, Mexico is up there in one of those teams who has a really deep team who's able to score even when those starters need a breather.
As you see Mexico getting set to come back on the court for the start of the second half. They'll be going from right to left on your screen, and they'll start with the basketball. Chile will be in, even though they're in the road red jerseys, they definitely have the home court advantage here playing in Santiago in front of their home crowd. 3,000 plus in this arena. And they've been loud since the start of this game as we kick things off to start the second half. Carla Gay alongside Kelsey Wright Johnson. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. A drive there by Jaquez to start things off in the second half. She missed it. She's going to get a second opportunity here that she cashes out on.
That's such a good read from her. The first time she went up right against the defender. The second time she said, I'll split these two defenders for a little bit of a more open look. Great footwork.
Gabriela Jaquez now with 12 points and counting. Sanchez, tough pass to make. And there were 2 white jerseys in the way of that one. Ramirez for 3. Got the kind roll.
Shooter's roll, baby.
She's smiling about it as she knew a kind rim here in Chile. Campos pulls it back out. Ojeda. Sanchez wants her to use off her screen. A solid screen there by Sanchez. 3 to shoot for Cousinho. Tough layup.
I had mentioned that Chile had to find a way to be the aggressor coming into this game and not let Mexico be the more aggressive team. And just like that, we had a really tough, solid screen and then a take to the basket where she's the one who initiated the contact.
10-point game. Floater cashed in by Ramirez. Maybe that 3 got her going. She was quiet offensively in the first half. Now 5 quick points for her here in this third. Here's Perez, turns the corner, kicks it out. Sanchez is left alone. The crowd wanted her to shoot, she gave it up. Instead, she sets a screen for Campos. Follows on the offensive rebound. Sanchez using the footwork. Couldn't get the scoop. Back the other way we go. Gonzalez on the push. Ramos. Gabriela Jaquez kicks it back out to Ramirez, who has the hot hand.
Chile's bench urging the defense to get their hands up.
Ramirez to the tin again. Just blew the layup. And Sanchez fighting off a couple of Mexican jerseys to scoop up the rebound. Cousinho's pass a little too tall for Ojeda.
Ramirez has had a really good start to this second half. And Carlin, I know you don't have Instagram, but her Instagram name, her first name is Hazel.
Sure.
Her Instagram name, the Purple Haze.
I like it.
I like it too.
See what the Purple Haze has to offer here in the second half. Hot Cats with a good move inside, a late whistle, but the correct call. She got knocked on the noggin, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that all started once again with Ramirez. She got the defense going one way, east to west, and just as she did, she had them cross that center line, the no-look pass down the opposite side. So she kind of got the defense on her heels there. Really nice pass inside. That's the Purple Haze.
That is indeed the Purple Haze as Gabriela Jaques toes the line. Now, you have an interesting perspective because you have an older brother, so you've played against him, obviously. What's that like?
I think having an older brother where you guys share a sport and you're able to play against each other, I'm sure he had to take it a little bit easier because he's older as she got older, but it would make her just tough. That toughness comes from that because you have to be.
She's definitely shown it tonight. Making her brother proud wherever he's watching. Cino hands it to Campos. Tough layup. Couldn't get it to fall, but she'll go to the line for 2. Campos has been one of the fan favorites here the first 2 days of the AmeriCup. Standing at just 5'4", but plenty of heart. 22 years old. And really the heart and soul of this Chilean basketball team.
I mean, yeah, it happens a lot with a point guard. They have the ball in their hands a lot, and so you're looking at them a lot. They're the decision makers out there, but also she's so tough, gets to the hoop so well. I can see why she's a fan favorite. She's one of my favorites on this team, too.
12-point lead for Mexico. Pressure defense there by Chile, almost coming up with a theft. 18 on the shot clock for Mexico to work with as it goes out of bounds. Jaques will inbound. Chile sitting back in the zone. Ramirez. Jaques right at the foul line, now dribbles out to the wing. They get it inside, tried to get it inside to Valenzuela. It's stolen there by Ojeda. Campos. Cino. Nice feed. Sanchez all alone, and she blows the layup.
The perfect backdoor read.
And then commits a foul on top of it. Crowd doesn't like the call.
Yeah, I wanted to see this one again. The perfect backdoor read off the glass, just can't get it to fall. I'm not even sure a frustration foul. I think really just going for her own rebound, frustrated probably with herself for missing the layup.
Jeffries back into the game for Mexico. Ramirez for 3, can't get it to go. Ojeda will vacuum it in. 4 minutes gone by in this period. Mexico leading by 12. Ojeda. Perez using the Ojeda screen. Swing this side. Campos shows and goes. No look pass inside. Ojeda has to put it up. Does. Can't get it to go. The follow is swallowed by Valenzuela. Another block by Valenzuela.
You got Valenzuela, Jaques, and Jeffries out here right now. This is a really tough lineup for Mexico.
Valenzuela for 2. Can't get it to fall. Ojeda battling for it. Jeffries has the offensive rebound. Jaques pounding inside. Can't get it to fall. And Cosino finally vacuums it in. And she's bumped by Valenzuela. And the foul is called. Second team foul here for Mexico.
I don't love a foul 94 feet from the basket.
I'm with you.
Valenzuela is so good and so physical, and you want to be able to use that when you're defending your bucket, not trying to get an offensive rebound that's kind of already been established.
It's a second personal foul for Valenzuela, and That will lead to a timeout. 5:13 remaining in the third quarter. Mexico leads by 12. Sights and sounds of the FIBA AmeriCup here in Santiago, Chile. Passionate women on both sides wearing their countries across their chests. And right now they're in a battle here in Group B action on match day 2. Mexico leads 48-36 halfway through the third quarter.
I think you're going to see this lineup for Mexico look to make a run against Chile right now. They got their big 3 out there, and you can hear their coach saying, get active, get active. So I think it's going to start on the defensive end and really feed into their offense.
That big 3 you speak of, Anissa Jeffries, Valenzuela, and Gabby Jaquez. They've powered the offense for Mexico on the other side. Chile trying to get an answer here, down 12. With Campos on the rock, and she lost it, and it's going to be over and back.
Yeah, it wasn't tipped there, just kind of an unfortunate dribble.
Esquer getting her first minutes in this game with the pressure defense that time, causing the turnover. Esquer. This side, Jeffrey swings it to Gonzalez. Jaquez on the block. Kicks Esquer for 3. Off the back iron. Ojea battling with Jeffries and finally yanks it away. Esquer will pick up the foul there as she stopped Campos from revving the engine.
That's another thing that Campos is so good at, is when she feels contact, selling it a little bit. And I'm not saying she's flopping, but selling a call so that you get, 1, you get a little time to take a breath, you get set up your offense, and 2, you're really looking to get the other team in foul trouble, especially when it's a cold player. She got baited into that foul a little bit.
Mocinho spinning in the lane, kicks it, no look to Perez. Perez attacking the rim. Was intimidated that time by Valenzuela and blew the layup. Jeffries, head up. Gonzalez, Esquer, this time, Jaquez. Spinning, drawing defenders. Couldn't get that to fall. She's looking over at the official, thinking she got hacked. No whistle blows. Campos, and a late whistle there on the reaching. That was more of a frustration foul, it looked like, out of Jaquez.
Honestly, we've seen a lot of frustration fouls. You know, Jaquez drives, she squares her shoulders so well as she does, and she thinks she got the foul. They didn't call anything on it, and then on the way back, she says, "Okay, well, if you're not calling fouls, let me show you how much physicality we're gonna get away with here." And she's gonna take a seat on the bench, just catch her breath, grab some water. I'm sure we'll see her again.
It's her first foul. It's also the 14th foul for Mexico in this quarter. The next one will put them in the penalty. Head up for 3. Rattles it home. Much needed basket there for Chile. Campos, good defense that time. Lubicic clears. Cosinho could not handle that pass. A little too out of control was Lubicic.
Right now it's the unforced errors for Chile. They just need to take a quick deep breath. It was the turnover at the half point or the half court line for Campos. It's the pass that's just a little bit too high coming back this way. The unforced errors are, you know, building up right now. It's what's getting Mexico the lead.
Valenzuela, good footwork. Blows the layup. Mocinho pushing. Campos has it and looks to slow things down. Uses the Cosinho screen. Cosinho was left alone for a second. No one found her. They found Lubicic instead. She's off the mark. Esquer A baseball pass, throws it, has kept it bounced somehow. Jeffries kicks, heel for three, can't get it to go. Where's the offense going to come from Chile? Is it Cousinho, who has it on the block? Shows the up fake, Campos driving. She was hit, and she'll go to the line.
You really see why she is a fan favorite. She has tenacity of a much bigger player. She has no fear going downhill against, you know, 3 white jerseys, all bigger than her there, and she's really fun to watch.
In your playing days, when you saw a player that was 5'4" and as intense as she is, how frustrating is that to defend?
No, of course. I couldn't defend it because I couldn't keep up with her. And on the defensive end, I don't want to dribble around her because I know she's going to be there to swipe it away. Her quickness is something that she uses to her advantage. She's able to get downhill so effectively just because of how quick her feet are. I think she gets around defenders really easily just because she can zoop, 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 and get to the bucket. That's a technical term.
We were waiting for the sound effects to happen, and they finally did. It took almost 7 minutes of the third quarter. But they're here now. 8-point game. Mexico in front. Ramirez. Heel for three. It's short. And Jeffries with another offensive rebound. Jeffries attacking. Can't get it to fall. Valenzuela with another look, and she puts it home.
Mexico plays with a lot of composure. They look for those second chance opportunities. They get it to their scorers, and they look for really good open shots.
It's been 10 offensive rebounds for Mexico in this basketball game, and they lead by 10.
18 points now for Valenzuela.
Dominant in the paint on both ends of the floor. Jeffries inside the heel. Ramirez turns the corner and scoops it home.
She put that blue haze on the defense, and they got rid of it. She really parted ways. She parted that Red Sea, went right down the middle, and had that scoop layup.
Hazel Hayes that time, effective offensively. Lubicic for three. That's off the mark. A one-handed rebound by Jeffries, and she shot out of a cannon back the other way. Valenzuela at the nail. Hand off, it's Martinez. They go back inside to Valenzuela. She steps back, one-footed jump shot, can't get it to go. Lubicic in a hurry. Lubicic wants a three, and has one.
That's the shot that Chile needed. Puts them back to just a 9-point game. The crowd gets right back into it, and it's a three like that where the crowd erupts that can fuel your defense. Now you want to get a stop. Now you want to let your defense fuel your offense, and that's exactly the shot they needed.
Listen to this place right now, Kels. They get that stop. Lubicic on the push. 2-for-1 opportunity if she wants it. And a foul is going to be called on Hill. And that will send Lubicic to the line. There's the last Lubicic triple.
She's got 13 points. Right now she leads all scorers. Just one of 2 players who has double digits for Chile.
Now an opportunity to take a deep breath and try to knock down 2 free throws. Mentioned her first senior national team event at the 2024 South American Championships. So she got the first one out of the way. Now she's here at home in her comfort zone, playing in front of her friends and family and doing well.
3 for 3 from the line so far tonight. Not a player you want to put to the line. Such a good shooter from the perimeter. It really it continues from the free throw line.
Got it in the end. 6-second difference between shot and game clock. Crowd coming alive. Jaquez driving, spinning, a whirling dervish of a shot that puts the crowd on mute.
Jaquez spun the opposite way than what she shot. That is an impressive finish.
And some helter-skelter hoop to end the quarter.
Wow.
As Mexico will take the lead into the quarter break. 54-45 your score after 3 quarters. Mexico in front of Chile here at the AmeriCup. Minutes in the books, Kels, and here are the stats from the first 30 minutes of play.
Yeah, I mean, they're shooting a smaller percentage from 3, but a way bigger percentage from the 2-point line, and just they're making every one of their possessions count. I mentioned playing with composure, and that's exactly what this team does. They get really good open shots. If you look right here, they pass the ball, and she gets wide open. Ramirez really came alive in this third quarter.
Certainly did. There's the Cosinio layup where math class needed to be taken to understand that one. And he mentioned Ramirez getting it going. Yeah,
Ramirez right here. A really good read. Jaquez takes the defenders away from her because she's such a threat. It leaves her wide open for that floater. Jaquez is such a smart player. Her footwork is so good, and she's such a threat from all different levels. She can score on so many different ways. It's hard to defend that because you take one thing away, and just like that, she steps around you and gets the bucket.
Yeah, 16 points and counting for Gabriela Jaquez in her first game here at the AmeriCup. And there's a Cosinio layup once again. And by the way, the shot clock was expiring when that bucket went down for Chile. Well, through 3 quarters, Chile has done more than just shown up. They've competed. It's hard to defend that, though, because it's even hard to describe it. A 360 opposite way layup?
That's impossible. The words were coming out of my mouth as it happened. What a tough finish for someone her age. And then I went, no, that's a tough finish for anyone on any level.
Right.
I don't even know how she thought about that, but it worked. It gave her space from her defender, so absolutely opened her up. Just a really tough finish going the opposite direction.
Yeah, if we were playing horse, Kels, just give us H. We just got it.
I would just take my loss. I would take the whole word.
Start of the 4th quarter. And Chile basketball to turnover here. There's Lubicic leading the way scoring-wise for Chile. 15 points and counting for her.
Got to take a deep breath if you're Chile. You're still within single digits. The game is not over. We talked about them just competing, but that's not what they want right here. It's still a winnable game for them if they stop with the unforced errors. That's another unforced error there with the turnover.
Jaquez, that's a 3. Her 19th point here in her debut at the AmeriCup. Lara clears the boards. Ramirez with a good crossover there. Draws the foul. Cosinio, who had a quick rest between the quarter, will come back into the game and replace Ramirez.
Talked about Ramirez a little bit earlier. But, you know, she set the school record at LMU for single game assists, single season assists, and career assists. She ended her career with 476 assists. Just a really unselfish player whose basketball IQ is off the charts.
There's Heel. Inside for Jaquez. Lara will hand it right back to Jaquez. Jaquez will try another 3. She is red hot here in Santiago.
Chilean defense has to figure a way to either start doubling her, play a box and 1. They got to do something, or maybe just deny her completely, not let her get the ball. But she is on absolute fire here, and she's doing it from all over the court.
Lubicic trying to respond with a 3. Can't do it. Rebound up for grabs. Lara vacuums it in. Fine Jaquez, everyone in a Mexican uniform screaming. And here she has it. This feels like it's going up, Kels, as Jaquez looks to get in her bag.
It's a tough defensive assignment that she has against her. You back off, she shoots the three, you get up in her grill, she's gonna drive by you and finish at the bucket.
Ramirez on the layup. And Mexico pouring it on here to start the fourth.
Ramirez so smart, like I said, she knows when to pass it, she knows when to get it. Hawkins taking a defender out of the way right now, so it's kind of 4-on-4 for her, and she finds the opening.
An 8-0 run stopped there with a three by Cousinho.
Cousinho so solid. Her experience really shows through, and I think it will in this fourth quarter. Experience will speak out now as it gets down to the wire.
Hawkins watched by Lubicic. Laura stepping back. Can't get it to fall. Cousinho now on the rock pushing. And Duar in a dangerous area, and Heel picks up the foul. Well, here's the Cousinho triple.
Cousinho had one of, if you're a shooter, that's a possession that you love because they actually.
Which, by the way, you were.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling. Speaking from experience, they skip right over you. All she had to do was just stand there, wait for the defense to move to the side, move back to the side, and she just got an open look. Perfect.
I have to make sure that people at home, they can't see you elbowing me, reminding me that you are a shooter. Lubicic is a shooter herself. Long three goes down.
Lubicic plays with such passion, and you can see it here. She is so locked in, offense and defense. She wants this one.
Gallegos on the floor now for Mexico, working on the defensive Campos. Threw it up, did not touch the rim, so no reset on the shot clock. And then Jeffries missing the bunny. Perez uses a Cousinho screen. Gets the switch on Hawkins. Crowd coming alive now. 8 on the shot clock. Lubicic showed the up fake. Perez is alone for three. Too strong. Diallo with the good block out. Gabriela Hawkins. Hearing it from the crowd. It says calm it down. As Gallegos now goes behind the back, lost control of it. Luckily for her, teammate was there. Jeffries, straight line drive. And a late whistle that this crowd is not going to be happy about.
That was a great defensive possession for all 24 seconds from Chile. They were able to keep the offensive player in front of them the entire time. Lubicic, she's so good.
Give her any airspace, it's going up, and normally will fall.
And I mean, you can see it in your eyes when they do the close-up of her. She is so locked into this one.
Might have taken some of those vitamins you tried to give me yesterday.
I tried to give him focus vitamins. All natural. He looked at me like I was crazy.
Meanwhile, Jeffries is towing the line, hearing it from the crowd, and she silences them with the first free throw. Jeffries has had a great game, coming off the bench for Mexico, now 9 points and counting.
How many rebounds does she have?
6 rebounds, working on a near double-double effort here tonight. Campos. Cousinho watched by Jeffries, elbows flying. Campos uses Ojeda screen. Bounce pass, no look pass inside. Ojeda, there's still time for Chile to work with. Now it's running out. And they lose possession of the basketball on the shot clock violation.
You know, Mexico kind of got saved on that one from another unforced error from Chile. Chile did such a good job at forcing Mexico to overcommit, going east-west, really moving the ball well, and they lost possession there underneath, and it got knocked away, and it's kind of an empty possession for them now.
Too many passes. Someone had to shoot the basketball, and they weren't prepared to do it. Teal being hounded. She traveled and got away with it. Hawkins, this side of the floor, watched by Cousinho. Ramirez back to Hawkins, all alone for three. Gallops to the hoop and finishes.
That's a possession that Mexico's going to want back. Their head's not on a swivel, really focused on something that was not the ball. And Chile takes advantage of it for the open look.
In the lane. And the foul. Anissa Jeffries. Big big-time players make big-time plays, and that was one of them.
The bigs for Mexico, their footwork is so impressive. Jeffries shows it there, takes that extra sidestep there to create a lot of distance from her and the two defenders under the basket to be able to go up and take the contact there. Really strong play.
Gives Mexico a 13-point advantage here with 5:03 remaining in the game. 13 points and counting now for Anissa Jeffries with her 6 rebounds. Campos. Perez. Lubicic, the shooter, takes one in the face of Jeffries. Nothing but nylon.
Like I said, I'm going to continue saying it, absolutely locked in. She sees nothing but the person she is defending and the bucket right now. That time sees nothing but the basket, and that one, so good. Just in rhythm, catches it, close up. What a shot.
Ramirez is fouled by Lubicic. It's going to be the 4th team foul here for Chile in this quarter. Here it is again, Kels. The Lubicic 3.
Look at this. The defender bites, goes under. She sees nothing but the basket there, catches, sets her feet, and goes up. And that's exactly what she needs to continue doing to will this Chile team back into it.
14 on the shot clock as we inbound with Mexico possession. Chile sitting back in his zone. Jeffries penetrating, Euro-stepping right around Lubicic, couldn't get to fall. Lubicic now has the basketball. Every defender on Mexico aware of where she's at on the floor. Perez, Lubicic in the corner. Jaquez hounding her. Lubicic needing help. Finds Cousinho, a deep 3. Off the mark. And Jeffries will track that one down. Under 4 to play in the game. Mexico in front by 11. Ramirez turning the corner. Ramirez inside. Blew the layup. Offensive rebound. Valenzuela. She's fouled by Lubicic, and that's going to put her at the line. And then a little something to say afterwards. Game getting chippy and spicy now.
3rd foul for Lubicic there, 3rd personal foul. So she has a couple fouls to play with there. You got to chalk that up just to intensity. She wants to win. Yeah, take another look at it here.
A little shove. Not much there. The officials will convene and discuss whether or not we need to have a review. If they do have a review, we'll get the opportunity to eavesdrop on the conversation. It's Kelsey and I's favorite sport. People watching and eavesdropping, right?
So, I mean, please, review.
Yeah, let's get some tea.
It's actually really nice for both teams now. They get a little bit of a breather in this one. Just over 3.5 minutes left to go. I could use a breather, so I know they could use a breather. And it's kind of a free one.
So the foul is called. There's going to be 2 shots because Chile's in the penalty. So we'll send Valenzuela to the line, where she's working on an 18.6 rebound night. She also has 3 blocks in the game, and they've been all highlight reel material. Lubicic picks up her 3rd foul. 3:39. This is the danger zone right now for Chile. Kind of have to play mistake-free basketball the rest of the way.
You have to. You have to. Valenzuela, 4 for 5 from the line tonight. Not necessarily a player you really want at the line if you're Chile trying to chip back into this one late in the game.
A 13-point advantage right now for Mexico. Their largest lead was 17. Lubicic trying to get by Jeffries. Finds Cousinho. Good ball movement here for Chile. It's Campos for 3. That's off.
It's great ball movement, and it starts with getting the ball into Lubicic, who's able to get downhill, get past a defender. She put Mexico, into a scramble defense there, which is why they were able to swing it back around over to the right-hand side. The three just short. I think that's just legs, really.
The team could be playing a factor. It's a back-to-back situation for Chile. Mexico, meanwhile, were off yesterday. Valenzuela on the baseline. Gonzalez, 5 to shoot for Mexico. It's Ramirez to the corner. Hot kiss for 3. That's off. Gonzalez with the offensive putback.
If you're Chile, you gotta get your body on someone. You have to box out. It's these second chance opportunities you can't allow Mexico to have. It's gotta be one and done as it comes down to it. Possessions are important now as we're under 3 minutes left to go.
71-56 your score. Mexico in front. Chile takes the timeout. As Kelsey said, under 3 to play, 2:52 to be exact. Well, Kelsey will have one more game after this one. Team USA taking on Colombia. And the Americans looked good in their first game. Colombia missed some shots that they probably would have made in normal circumstances. And they have an exciting point guard who's going to go up against probably the best defense that she'll see in this tournament, at least in the group play. I'm excited to see Manuela Rios take on Team USA.
Yeah, I got to check out USA for a little bit. I know you were calling that game yesterday. And a lot of young talent on that team, too. So, like I said, USA obviously the favorite in that one coming into this one, rankings-wise, on paper. But anything can happen. There's a lot of talent on both sides.
And with this gym being sold out as is, most people will probably stick around and watch that game. And you know, whenever you have a non-biased crowd, the underdogs tend to get
I said everyone loves a Cinderella story.
They sure do. Sights and sounds from this one so far. You see the passion and the emotion between these two teams. Right now, Mexico in front 71-56. Coming out of the timeout, it will be Chile basketball underneath their basket.
A point of emphasis for this Chile team. They've got to know where Jaquez is at all times. She missed that shot in the corner there, but she was wide open, and it's a rare miss for her. You've got to be able to know where she is because she could put this one away by herself.
So let's see how Chile now attack coming out of the timeout offensively. It feels like they need to score almost every single time down the floor. A bad option to have it right now with Lubicic. Perez, Osinio, Perez. They overshot her, and Jeffries comes away with the steal. It's the 15th turnover in this game for Chile. Here's Gabriela Jaquez. Inside Valenzuela, that's a tough pass to make. And she turns it over. Perez pushing. Osinio, and they give it away. Look at the hustle by Lubicic. She came from all the way back in the corner to make sure that that wasn't a live ball turnover. It's a dead ball turnover, and it will be Mexico basketball.
Great hustle by Lubicic there, but it's 2 straight turnovers from this Chile team who needs points. They need to get back in this one. 71-56 right now, and you just can't afford back-to-back turnovers.
Ramirez checks into the game for Mexico. So take a look at Coach Santander, Argentinian, now coaching here in Chile. Jeffries being dared to shoot it.
Really smart defense by Chile. You don't want the ball in the hands of the person who has the ball right there, and just like that, that's why you don't want it. She's so strong, uses her body so well, goes up, forces the defense to foul her.
Osinio will pick up the foul here as Valenzuela will go back to the foul line where she has been terrific this evening. Ramos on the floor for Mexico, and Jeffries will check out of the game. But you're right, Chelsea, or Chile, with a scouting report on.
Was that my name and Chile put together? I like it.
Chile with the scouting report on Jeffries, just giving her the space, saying, hey, we're daring you to shoot. Good patience, though, by Jeffries, knowing, like, games.
I'm not going to be baited into it.
Yeah, there's no need for that. 73-56, Mexico in front, under 2 to play. Lubicic using the Cosinio screen. 3 screens, navigates a 3, can't get it to go. And Jaquez vacuums it in.
That's a good shot. Like, it went off the back rim, but it's who you want taking the shot, and it's the time now where you got to start putting up some threes to get back in it.
Not only that, but point differential matters in tournaments like this. So you don't want to have a wide margin of defeat if you're Chile. You already had that against Team USA. You want to make sure that you try to close this gap here. A minute 19 on the clock. Another foul that will send Valenzuela back to the line. It's on Coutinho again.
Yeah, of course, national pride is one thing. That's why you don't give up. But another reason you don't see teams give up at all, even when they're down 50, 60 points in those big blowout games, is the point differential moving forward.
24 points and counting now for Valenzuela, who put on an absolute show here tonight.
She is so tough.
Just a phenomenal 1-2 punch Mexico has with Valenzuela and Jaquez. As we have a timeout on the floor, a minute 19 remaining in the game, and Mexico just over 60 seconds away from picking up their first victory here in Santiago. Meanwhile, Chile taking another lesson from this one is what you would expect as you see some of the scoring here. 38 points off the pine for Mexico.
I mean, a lot of that is the 24 points that Valenzuela has added to this team as she comes off the bench for this Mexico team, at least here tonight. Something else to look at, though, is the 42% from the field that Mexico is shooting. So a little over 40% from the field. And I talked about this team playing with such composure, and that's a big piece of it. They give up the good shots. They give up the shots where there's a couple people in front of them. They use that incredible footwork that a lot of their bigs have down low to get great open shots. And I mean, they're rewarded with a really high field goal percentage.
Incredible atmosphere here in Santiago. And they're still partying even though their team is down big.
As they should. Like we said, use them as your sixth man. Just over a minute left to go.
They've been incredible hosts to us here in Santiago. The city has been great. We've only been here for a couple of days, but it's going to be home for the next week or so. So feel very comfortable. You had some great food as well.
Oh, I've had steak and wine. I've learned a little bit of Spanish because everyone's very patient with me as I try and speak broken Spanish. And I'm so nice, so kind. It's been a good few days.
I haven't even attempted. I'm not as brave as you to speak Spanish. And the foul is going to be called. It's an offensive foul on Ojeda. And we'll go the other way.
You know, I don't mind an offensive foul. It means you're being aggressive and you're looking to do something. It's the turnovers that where they're just kind of throwing it away, they lose the ball, that are frustrating to me just watching this game. But I mean, an offensive foul, although I don't like the turnover, at least you're showing some kind of aggression towards, the game and looking to win.
17 turnovers for Chile in this one. Here's Jaquez. Wants to clear it out. Ramos will set the screen for her. Jaquez galloping down the lane, got ripped. Vecino. A tough pass, and she made it all the way. It's Lubicic, another three. And Chile are gonna call, it's gonna be a sub here for Mexico. It's okay. Jaquez out of the game.
She is lethal. She is lethal. And I think right now she has the ultimate green light. When you get the ball on the perimeter, get us some points. And she is doing just that. 24 points for her in this one. And I don't think she's done yet.
It's a hazy green light. Shooting 50% from three-point range. Leading all scorers on Chile in this game. And you wish that you could bottle that up and take it into the next game and the rest of the tournament, for that matter. Here she is on the replay.
Look at this. She had a defender in her face. She barely came off the screen, but that green light is bright for her, and she's got to put it up right now. And it's working for her. That's exactly the person who I want to have possession if I'm Chile. I want the ball in her hands in this last possession or two for Chile. I want her to be able to put some points up. But if I'm Mexico on the opposite end, I want to put in a defender, someone maybe with some fresh legs right here to get right up on her hip and not even let her get the ball, because I want the point differential. I want to keep her quiet.
It's Escano who just checked into the game, 5 in white, who has to defend Lubicic, who's going to come off the pin down. They don't find her this time. Campos, Ojeda, will put it on the deck in the lane, almost slipped. Perez has it, 3 to shoot, tossed it up, couldn't get it to go. And time will tick away for Mexico. They won't offer at the goal. And that's how we'll end here tonight as Mexico takes their first win here in Group B action, defeating Chile 76-59.
A really, really solid performance from Mexico in their first showing here in this tournament. They're going to be a tough team moving forward. A goal of theirs, of course, should be podium action. And Chile, the host team, it looks like a different team than we saw yesterday. And again, some really nice performances by them. Of course, Lubicic just lights out today, 24 points for her. But I mean, Mexico, they have the size advantage, they have the experience advantage, and they had some fresh legs coming into this one.
See Team Mexico celebrating with a few fans that have made it here to Santiago. And meanwhile, at center court, the capacity crowd here giving their home team a round of applause for the effort here tonight. Well, Chile will have the off day, and then they'll come back on July 1st, which is Tuesday, and take on Colombia. Meanwhile, Mexico will try to bottle up this energy, and they'll play Colombia tomorrow afternoon here. As you can see, the pride and the passion as they leave the floor. High fives all around, smiles all around, and plenty to smile about for the performance that they put in. Let's take a look at some of the best plays from the fourth period. It's going to be a lot of Venezuela and the big three, as you call them, Jaquez and Jeffries as well.
They're so tough, the 3 top scorers, but not only am I looking at the scoring column for those big 3, really big anchors on the defensive end too, just with their length and physicality on defense. But we see here, there was 2 players that stood out for me on Chile, both of them sinking a whole lot of threes, and this is another one of those 3-point shooters. She pulls it back, a little step back 3 there. Cousinho kicks it over to Perez, and she's able to drive too. Another unsung hero for this Chile team. Chile has nothing to hang their heads about in this game, Carlin. They played really solid and really came back from kind of a deflating game yesterday, but they didn't let it deflate them. Lubicic, no one's deflating her. Fire from the 3-point line, as you can see there. But Mexico just so experienced and so poised.
Lubicic, as you see her taking that 3, had 24 big points, shot 50% from 3-point range. By the way, Chile as a team, 44% from 3-point range. More often than not, when you shoot that well from deep, you're going to win basketball games. Just didn't happen for them tonight. Mexico on the other end, they shot poorly from 3-point range, by the way. 28% from deep. They still have another level to get to. So if this is their floor, they do have an opportunity, Kelsey, to potentially make the podium. Here is the updated Group B standings as Team USA, who we'll see in moments, take on Colombia, sit at top due to point differential. Mexico sit in second. Puerto Rico also got a victory on matchday 1. They sit in third. They are resting today. Chile 0-2 at the moment. One more game on deck for you coming up, and that's going to be a great one with Colombia thinking upset against Team USA. But in this one, Mexico walking away with their first victory here in Santiago, defeating the host nation 76-59. For Kelsey Wright Johnson, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll see you shortly.